All right.
Oh, so, hey, it's Tuesday. We're glad you're here. It's kind of funny. We always have something funny to talk about when we first start, right?
Yep.
So today it turned out to be there seems to be a missing piece of video there.
Opening credits missing.
So welcome to Tuesday. We're glad you're here. Tuesday training. We're super excited. Our theme for tonight was the power of believing in you.
Yep.
I watched a video, as I do every week, from Art Williams. I was like all fired up when he got done. So I thought we all needed to spend some more time about our beliefs in ourselves and what we can do, and how it's a struggle for everybody. He talks about that in the video. So we're going to hear that. Then we're going to hear from our coach, our leader, our mentor, SNSD Andy Young. We're going to do the rally. We're going to hear from SNSD Brad Gerard from Vancouver, British Columbia.
That's because it snowed today in Atlanta, or last night.
Is that kind of just
Yeah.
Well, I think it only rains there ever.
Yeah, that's true.
I
BC
don't
is
think
like
it
Seattle.
snows there. So, as I said, Art Williams' best video tonight's going to be the power of believing in you, and we're going to hear from an RVP. It's our RVP plus 2 segment, but it's going to be RVP plus 3. We get a bonus person tonight, so we're excited about that and looking forward to hearing from them.
Yep.
You're
And
up.
she earned it. So
She
anybody
does
got
earn
any
it.
crap to say about that, you can go. You can go talk to her about how she got that third
That
spot.
would be scary.
Maybe you should get some more people.
There we go.
All right, so we got our social wall. I forgot my computer today, so you're gonna have to watch it yourself at getbiggergohome.com, and then click the social feed tab. You can look at it right there. But feel free to use our Twitter and Instagram hashtag SNSD Factory.
Oh.
Don't have my button, so thank you so much. And then our Facebook mentions, it's a little bit different, at Let's Get Bigger Go Home. If you don't have social media, you can text it to us at 404-465-1830. We got to manually add it when you send it that way, so it takes a little longer. Bear with us. And of course, if you put something in the YouTube comments or the Instagram messages, like private messages, emails, none of that stuff's going to automatically show up there. So please use those, and you recognize your people for any achievements they got, promotions, we should be in Keystone basically at this point. So
We would be.
Yeah, so maybe you can post some pictures of what it's like in Keystone.
What
or
is
like I
it
said,
like in Keystone?
it snowed in Atlanta last night. Maybe you got
It
some.
did, for just a little tiny
Just for a little
flurry bit. Turned
So-
to ice immediately.
Yeah, you want to take the next segment?
Yeah, so let's see, rally. Nope, promotions, we did promotions graphic. We've rearranged, and so recognize your people. I thought you already talked about this,
Well,
did you?
you do. I talked about it, putting it on the social
right?
feed,
So go
but-
out and do getbiggergohome.com downloads, right? And then you just scroll right there, just fill in all of your promotions for the week, right? And then we'll announce them, recognize them on TV, give them some extra special credits. Make sure you guys get about doing that. Next up, the rally. Trish is here, actually sitting very close to us for the first time ever. We can see her. We're excited about that. Hopefully you guys are rounding people up. The rally. RVPs only. We're texting 404-465-1830. RVP, your RVP, the last name, and the number of people that you have engaged, right? So engaged is like, even if it's just you, right? If you're an RVP that's new to us, or you're starting over, rebuilding, refounding, whatever, then this is the way you begin, right?
Yep. Who's watching and who can report for you if you make it as a top team later?
So we're having technology things.
Yeah.
So hang with us here. All right. Belda Rubio, number 8. Walter, she is coming for you. She told me this morning, she was like, right on you. I reminded her that you were close behind, and she goes, yeah, well, she is not worried. So she's up, number 8. She won last week. She'll
probably go down without a fight, I would think.
Oh yeah, right. Just lay down.
That's
Go ahead, Walter. Take it over.
Yeah,
I think not.
Belda's usually pretty nice about that kind of stuff.
Come on, step aside.
Let everybody else get a turn.
First. Nope, she is rocking it. For sure, her numbers are incredible. We'll actually get to hear from her a little bit later. So back to the rally graphic one more time.
This is the phone number. Save it in your phone.
So you do this.
465-1830. And RVPs only right now. We just want everybody to report the number of people from their base shop that's watching the broadcast. So get those numbers in. We'll get some updates from Trish of who's reported, and not only that, towards the end we'll call who the top teams are, and we'll have those individual base shops actually report out each person that's watching. We want to hear from them. So,
All right, hold on. We're having technology across the eastern seaboard.
okay.
So let's see what's next. Keystone. All right, so as you know, we've rescheduled Keystone for April 8th through the 11th. Hopefully you don't leave for there.
I was headed
Are you
out.
thinking about going later on tonight?
I've talked to some people. Some people are still
Some
going.
people did go.
Yeah.
Some people did go. They were like, we're going anyways. We're hanging out. We're going skiing on a reservation system. I don't think they're on total lockdown still. I think they're still just sitting at red.
Yeah.
So, but all of the Keystone tickets will be carried forward to the April event. No more tickets will become available for the April event, right? So, and then the reminder that if you booked a condo under the group code right there, your reservation has been canceled and you will receive a refund. And they were very lovely about the whole thing,
Yep.
right?
And when are we going to get a new
So-
group code so they can book again? Do you know?
As soon as I get the contract.
Okay.
Still waiting on the contract. They are, like a lot of people in the country, understaffed,
Yeah.
right? And one person is having to do 4 or 5 people's jobs. So it takes them a little bit, and they're quite a large corporation, actually.
I wonder if they keep their options open.
I've talked to a couple of them, like, you sure you don't keep your options open? They're like, oh no, I'm going to get hired back.
Yeah.
So I'll check in a month or two.
All right.
All right.
January. Did we talk about January yet?
We're going to talk about January, that we're having an event in January. It's going to be groundbreaking. Andy and I have already been like doing some digging around and tossing around ideas and calling people and setting things up. It'll be the kickoff for 2021. We love January. It sets your whole year up. I'm sure there'll be great incentive and contests coming about 2021. So get prepared, finish up 2020 strong, take a few days and figure out how you want 2021 to look, and then plug into that first event and let's get it rolling. So as I talked about earlier, the power of believing in you. I go through all of Art's videos when every Tuesday morning. Then I go through the Elite site as well. And actually, I found this one on the Elite site today. So if you guys have not subscribed to the Elite site, please do. The price is almost free. And there is a whole bunch of stuff out there that are not on the public site. So run out there and sign up for that subscription. But right now, Matt's going to play for us The Power of Believing in You.
Something else I found out about smart people is they just don't ever get around to doing nothing. I pray almost every day, say, dear Lord, please give us a chance to make a difference in America. So if you do what you're capable of doing and you continue to get better, you'll take care of the competition.
The difference in being average and ordinary and great is this much.
I want to talk to you today about the single most important thing to winning in business. See, I believe the most important thing to winning is you. It's what kind of person you are, what kind of husband you are, what kind of wife you are, what kind of dad you are, what kind of mom you are, what kind of example you are. See, folks, you are it. You are everything. The most important thing to winning in business is your attitude about you. It's your attitude about life. I'm going to give you a lot of unwritten laws today. In my first one, positive thinkers win and negative thinkers lose. See, the most important thing to winning in business, folks, is your expectations. Another unwritten law. Whatever you expect to happen with confidence happens in sales, folks. If you've got to make a sale, if you go in a home and you got to make this sale or you're going to lose your house, and you go in that home and you say, oh man, I just, if I've ever had a chance to make a sale, I just hope I can make this sale. Man, I need this sale. You've already lost the sale before you walk in the house. But if you believe passionately in what you do like I did, when you walk in that home, folks, I didn't believe they made people stupid enough not to buy term and invest the difference if they had trash value life insurance. Then you've got a chance to win. See, folks, the most important thing is your passion. You win with your heart, not your head. You win on emotion, not on logic. The most important thing to winning is the power of believing in you. The power of believing that you can win. The power of believing that good things will happen to you. The power of believing that you're special. See, folks, I really believe the biggest single obstacle standing in your way to success is not lack of education, it's not lack of background, it's not lack of money, it's lack of belief in yourself. See, folks, think about this. I believe the difference in being great and average and ordinary, isn't that unbelievable? The difference in being great and average and ordinary, the difference in winning and losing is this much. And this much is what I call a special kind of attitude, a special kind of mental toughness, a special kind of hunger to be somebody. See, folks, I believe you can overcome every problem in business. You can overcome financial problems. You can overcome personal problems. You can overcome health problems, business problems, sales problems, recruiting problems, and still be all you want to be in business. But you can't ever overcome an attitude problem. The moment you give up on you, you're dead as a doornail. Another unwritten law. The single most important thing you'll develop in your entire lifetime is a positive attitude. You see, folks, I believe everybody wants to be somebody. I don't believe there's ever been a piece of flesh that's ever been born on this earth that didn't want to be somebody. Everybody wants to be somebody. You know, as youngsters, when we were kids playing cowboys and Indians and stuff like this, you know, we grew up wanting to be the sheriff or an astronaut or an NFL quarterback, or President of the United States. But life just has a way of beating you down. You know, I coached for 7 years in Georgia in high school. And it seems that for most adult men and women, their high school years were the very peak years for them to truly dream and be excited about life. Man, when those guys and gals came into high school, man, their eyes were as big as a baseball. Man, they got their driver's license and started driving. They started dating. They were playing on athletic teams before hundreds of thousands of people. They were in beauty contests or they were majorettes, and they had their mamas and daddies and uncles and aunts and teachers and coaches telling them how pretty they are, fast they are, strong they are, special they are. And then they graduate. And they get dumped out in the big bad world, and they get married, and they have a few kids, and they change jobs 2 or 3 times. And then all of a sudden they roll out of bed one morning, and they're a different person. They've developed an attitude that life's passed me by, that life's dealt me a bad hand. Well, folks, the first rule to winning is you've got to become a dreamer again. You've got to like you again. You've got to believe you're special again. You've got to get this high school-like enthusiasm in your life again. Now, you know what? You might say, Art, now what's this dream business got to do with me? Just everything. That's all. Just everything. See, folks, beginning March 1967, for 25 years, I led a crusade against the life insurance industry. For over 100 years, life insurance companies went into the home of the American consumer through advertising. Life insurance agents went into the home of the American consumer personally. And they looked mom and dad across the kitchen table and they said, trust me. And then they screwed them. And I love getting after them. Today, I'm on a new crusade. I'm on a new crusade against all those voices out there that tell people like me that I ain't good enough, that I ain't smart enough, that I ain't talented enough. I'm on a new crusade against this phony propaganda out there that education's the key, that talent's the key, that training's the key. See, if you listen to these so-called experts now, we're in a new era. It's a communications era. There's something out there called an internet, the information highway. Oh, well, you know what? Me and my Mercedes ain't ever been down no information highway. See, hey, I don't even know what that is. These people that think to win, you got to be born on the right side of the tracks. You got to go to the Ivy League schools. You got to be members of the prestigious clubs. Bull. My crusade is against these motivational speakers that blow into town and blow a lot of hot air up your butt, and it's gone in 24 hours. My crusade is against these expert trainers that ain't ever built nothing, telling you the secret, and they don't know the secret. My crusade is against this dress for success crowd. That's a bunch of crowd. My crusade is against these personnel agencies. They give you the aptitude test and the achievement test and the personality test. That's a bunch of crap. They ain't nobody ever designed a test, nor will they design a test that can look inside the man of a woman and tell who a champion is. My crusade is against these ads on TV and this crowd from Hollywood that produces all these movies. I love to watch TV, and I love to go to the movies. And you know, after watching TV or going to the movies for hours every day, you know they program us to think the good-looking guy always gets the girl. Ain't that right? I mean, after watching a movie for hours, at the end of the movie, the good-looking guy always gets the girl. Ain't that right? I mean, he's 6'3", slim body, slick back hair, white teeth, beautiful smile, three-piece suit, wingtip shoes, great tennis player. Ain't that right? And then after watching that for hours every day, you go in the bathroom and you look in the mirror and you say, well, throw up. Ain't that right? See, my crusade is against these college professors and these universities that are teaching kids how to win in business. You got any universities around here? What? Northwestern. They got a business department out there? Now, folks, see if this makes any sense to you. If these business professors really knew how to build a business, would they be out at Northwestern teaching a bunch of kids for $30,000 or $40,000 a year, or would they be out there building a business? You know what? Now listen to me, folks. It's pretty heavy right here. The biggest problem you'll face in your business lifetime is your fears and your worries. This almost destroyed me. See, folks, it's human nature to fear, to worry, to doubt yourself, to feel inadequate. See, because I'm a worrier, early in my business career, I thought there was something wrong with me. You know, as I looked at the world out there through my eyes, people that drove a big car, that lived in a big house, that ran a big company, that worked in a big office, in my eyes, those people looked different from me. They looked like they were confident and happy all the time. And then I'd go look in the mirror at Art Williams and I'd see a bowl of Jell-O. I was always scared. I was always worried. And then I made it. And I became wealthy. And then thousands of my teammates became wealthy. And I met some of the most powerful people in the world. And you know what I found out? I found out that everybody, every piece of flesh, even the most powerful people in the world, are powerful and positive for minutes at a time, for hours at a time. Maybe the most powerful person in the world is powerful and positive for days at a time. See, folks, I'm one of the most powerful, positive people you'll meet in your life. And one of my goals I want to fulfill before they pat me in the face with a shovel is I'd like to be totally positive and not worry and not get scared just for 24 hours. But every time I get a string going, I get up to 9 hours or 11 hours or 13 hours, and then something happens and I get scared again. And folks, it's your ability to understand there's nothing wrong with you when you're scared, when you're worried, when you feel inadequate. We all do that. Everybody does that. You're not alone. See, folks, it's the easiest thing in the world to be negative. It's the hardest thing in the world to be positive. It's the easiest thing in the world to be sad. You know, folks, you're going to have dozens of things every day of your life that'll give you a reason to be sad. It's the hardest thing in the world to be happy. It's the easiest thing in the world to get down. It's the hardest thing in the world to stay up. It's the easiest thing in the world to give up, to quit. It's the hardest thing in the world to keep on fighting. It's the easiest thing in the world to look at a successful person and compare yourself and feel like you were cheated. And when you look at him or her, you say, man, I wish I could talk like him. I wish I looked like him. I wish I was talented like him. I wish I was confident like him. The hardest thing in the world is to believe in you, to believe you're special, to believe you're different, to believe you're supposed to be somebody. The hardest thing in the world is, in spite of all your fears, all your worries, all your doubts, all your feelings of inadequacy, is to believe in yourself one more time.
that awesome? All right, are you fired up now or
Fired
what?
up.
Totally fired up. I was fired up all day listening to it. I listened to it twice, right? It was awesome. So now it's time for the man, the mentor, the coach, the legend himself, Mr. Andy Young.
I think you got me, right?
I got
yeah.
you. Hello, how
All
are
right.
you?
It might be a little fuzzy. We got technical difficulties. We had a lot of wind up here, lost our internet. So I'm kind of piecing this thing together. And I lost my agenda. So right now I'm going for, I know, welcome to live TV, but I'm going for, how long am I going for? Till
You
7,
have 8 minutes to say welcome.
and then bring it back to you guys.
And then
at
send it back to
7,
us, and then we'll do our RVP plus 2.
right after that. And then we'll go to Brad. Perfect.
Yes.
All right, you might have to coach me along on some of this stuff, but what an amazing, we were talking about it, Darla and I earlier about, 2020 and all the great things we did. We were talking about our end of the year stuff and some special videos. Night Class does such an amazing job. We've seen the Keystone videos that have been pieced together. So many great things that they've done. Art Williams Best. You look at that stuff. Nobody around Primerica has this. I mean, we're zooming in on probably 500-600 people. And another whole, 500-800 people on YouTube. The numbers are just amazing. How many people are signing in on these things, and nobody's got the kind of TV studio type set professionalism. And we were joking about 2020. What an amazing thing, and how maybe it was Art Williams, a big meeting with Art Williams, Mar-a-Lago, or Keystone, and how we might have some videos. We just show a dark screen, sad little face or something. It really wasn't sad because we kept this thing going here. We made that decision back in March. Nobody knew what COVID was. As a matter of fact, I remember sitting around at Night Class in the back, where all the big decisions are made around the big table with the little bar thing going on. And we're like, yeah, this thing will blow over probably in 4, 5, 6 weeks. No big deal. We'll see what happens. And crap, here we are, December 1st. And look at what amazing stories have come out of so many of you that are watching tonight. Your businesses have just exploded. There's so many people that really weren't engaged, weren't in the game, really weren't, playing at a high level. And now you've got the opportunity to go into 2021 with a lot of momentum, a lot of confidence. We got all the tools, like, Bobby Peterman did such a great job a couple of weeks ago, and Glenn on all of his talks, and, how we really set up technology. And I remember so many of those meetings, it was like, another damn technology meeting. They got what this technology Zoom. But you know what? When COVID hit, man, we were prepared. And so many companies got hit flat-footed and trying to figure out how to put things in place, how to make it happen, how to redo their business model, how to do their business model with the government, all the restrictions and quarantine. And, we just flew right through that. And our numbers are absolutely amazing where they are right now. I got to take a little shout out to little Andy out there. He looks for me on TV. He said, it's your pop-up saying, hey, little Andy, hope you're doing real well. I know he busted his eye. Got his first little football injury, fell down the steps, had 5 or 6 stitches. So proud of that. And he was like a champ. Came back and ate a bunch of food on Thanksgiving Day. But it is all about mental toughness, and that doesn't mean meanness. That doesn't mean you go out and do crazy things and mean to people, push them around who can hit the hardest. I mean, if you're playing football, that's what you do. But that's not what we do here. I mean, here, I say it all the time. Of all the things I've ever said, the things I'm most proud of are the things that I never said. And, boy, I was thinking, and it's just tough sometimes when you're dealing with human beings. It can get so frustrating because they let you down. I'm talking about people you're even related to. You got challenges. I mean, the Sermon on the Mount. The poor will always be with you. The poor, piss poor attitude, just sorry, can't figure it out, can't get it together. They're always going to be around you. I don't care how much money you make. The question is, what are you going to do to put yourself in position to write the check when the time comes to write the check? And the time will always come to write the check. And so it's just a matter of time with people. And so what level do you want to play the game at? And we've talked about that for weeks and weeks and weeks. And I know many of you stepped it up, but there's still time. I mean, you got 31 more days to finish off December, go into January. If it kicks off 2021, you got to have the momentum that you need, that you want to play the game at a higher level, like you didn't play or did play or whatever you don't like or like about your life. Whatever you do like, keep doing that stuff. Whatever you don't like, change it. And one of the things that's tough is you got to change the people around you. And that's one thing that I know a lot of people are always like, well, people don't really appreciate when I do things, they really don't appreciate it. Well, maybe they appreciate it, maybe they don't appreciate it. But at the end of the day, if you want, you know, gratitude from a human being, go get yourself a dog. You need a lot of gratitude, and you're real needy. Go get 2 dogs. The dog will always be happy to see you. At the end of the day, when you want to build a business, we got to find people who want to play now. And if you want to play at the highest level, I was talking with Brad Gerard a little while ago. I mean, yesterday, and we're going to talk in a little bit here in a few minutes. But about, it was 4,000 appointments. I had 5,000 appointments, 4,000 mailed. And out of 4,000 appointments, I got 22 RVPs, 11 first, 11 seconds. That increased my cash flow $50,000 a month. But what's going to happen is without me doing another appointment, that group of people is going to go to 100 RVPs. There's no doubt in my mind. We've already got two SVPs that popped out of that. We got another SVP getting ready to pop out. You'll hear from later. But I mean, you can't stop the momentum once you get it going. But it can't be onesie twosie. You got to go out there and have that intensity, embrace the repetition, and get your mind right that every single time you sit down, it could be the one. You never know. I mean, Tom Brady was number 199 in the draft. The Chicago Bears, and I love this because I don't like the Bears. I'm a Packers fan. But the Chicago Bears traded away a top 5 draft pick to move up one more level in the draft to draft Mitch Trubisky, their quarterback, over a guy that they weren't sure about named Patrick Mahomes. I mean, you talk about the difference in winning is this big. Like, what's the difference in a Patrick Mahomes and a Trubisky? And that crap happens all the time. That's why you got to dig. You got to be on your game when you're in your game. I don't care what the game is. I don't care if it's, when you're with people, put the phone away, put all the crap away, be there. Wherever you are, be there. And it's a big challenge in life to understand you got to stay excited, like Art talked about. And I love all the stuff he talks about, the pretty people, the people that had it all going on there. You're intimidated by them. You don't need to be intimidated by anybody around here. You get your part down, you do your part, you will absolutely win here. But you got to embrace the repetition, make a decision to do it at a high level, over and over and over and over, put a uniform on everybody. You never know who's going to do it. Be nice to the ones that don't move at a fast pace. Christian David, bless his heart, as they say in the South, took 7 years to figure out how to go to RVP. Well, he's just under $1 million a year in income. He's made millions of dollars here. Okay, so what if he just came to every meeting and did magic tricks and entertained people? All I'm saying is be nice to everybody. Be nice. It costs nothing to be nice. Get the people and just keep them going. Like when you're, whether it's the water boy, the people in the stands that are cheering, or the players or the all-stars. We need them all, but we definitely got to have players. I'll finish this part with this. If you want players and you want to have a great team that you can be proud of, you better be that person first. People don't want to follow a dull, disillusioned, frustrated, daggum crybaby. And that cannot be you on any level, any time. You got to be the tough one, the strong one, like your grandmother, great-grandmother, someone in your past was that person. We need to be that person as we finish off December. So back to you, Rob and Darla.
Hey, thank you. That was awesome.
That was great.
Good warm-up. Thank you very much.
I was just talking about people needing to buy dogs. I talked about it
Did you?
a couple times the past few days.
What about them? Just they need a dog.
I need a dog.
I need a dog.
Anyway,
All
we got
right.
a quick rally update. Trish, you got some numbers or names you want me to read? Let's go ahead and go to the graphic real quick. RVPs only right now. If you're just joining us, we only want to hear from the RVPs. We want to know how many people you got watching the show. So send us a text to that number right there, 404-465-1830. That's 404-465-1830. Tell us who you are, the RVP's name, and last name, and you might need the first name too if it's a common last name, or you got Walter and Darren Charles, father and son with their own base shops. But tell us how many people you got, and then of course you get an update. Somebody just got off work and tuning in. Send us another text. Give us an updated number. But here Trish is going to let us know who's reported in so far.
All right, we have got, y'all are ready to start 2021, or you're going to end this year on top, because there's some new names in here. There's some people that haven't been here in a while. So, that's exciting. So keep them coming.
Just like Keystone, right?
Yep.
2021 starts now.
That's right. And it's, text somebody, tell them, join in. If you're an RVP of 1 and you're getting that going, please report in. I mean, it helps you hold yourself accountable. So here we go. So we've got Savitri Crenshaw, we've got Gigi Hashish, we've got Linda and Bill Muse, Joe and Carolyn Red, Rob and Amy McKeever, Pallant Team, the Berryman team, Belle Rubio, J10 and Mike Martin, Elizabeth Luceris, Keith and Joan Ottinger, Patrick Nadal, Cesar Marmolejo, Bobby Cheeks, Glenn Plate, Miki and Milton Peel, Laura Langston, Rolf Shakar, Anthony Malone, Sherry Johnson, Merv Wiley Browse, Tomasco, Janice McGraw, Randall Andrews, Daryl and Crystal Julian, Eddie Espinosa, Gigi McGinnis, Shanti Walker, Beth Bynum, Robbie and Katie Hall, David and Garcia Catan, Sylvia and Lou Robinson, Judy Marshall, Tammy and Ron Lewis, Unique Madkins, Meggie
You had it.
Charles, I stumbled on myself, Tanya Searcy, William Kofer, Wes and Shay Flournoy, Kim Trine, Jerry and Dolores Snavely, Hamad Rizvi, Lee Nguyen, George and Betsy Costanzas, Vince Lane, Connie Whitmere, and the Janky team.
That is
Alrighty.
awesome.
Yeah,
You're
y'all,
like
that's
rock and read
Send 'em in,
those.
send 'em in,
Send
send 'em
'em
in.
in.
Keep them coming.
Keep it coming. You got another half hour before we do the top teams.
Yep.
So round them all up and have them and do a count for them.
So now it's time for the RVP,
RVP
plus
plus
2,
two. I had such
plus
an-
3,
Yep.
plus 1
Plus 3.
with
So-
Belda Rubio,
Belden Rubio. The
ass kicker extraordinaire.
Yeah, her number this morning, 90.
90.
90. And I don't think it's all done yet.
No, no.
Right? And a phenomenal month for her. And she's got a great story that she wants to share with us. Hey, Belda.
Hey, thank you so much, guys, for allowing us, my team, some of my team to get on. You know, I want to talk about Evelyn. Evelyn, you know, one of the things that Art Williams just said, the hardest thing is to continue being happy. That's the biggest problem most people have here in Primerica, but not this girl. This girl, I don't care what she's going through, she always is excited. And one of the things that Andy always talks about, she always has a childlike enthusiasm. And so because of that, and because of her work ethic, she has just, you know, she was forced to take some time off to take care of her elderly grandmother that came from out of the country. So she had to take care of her for about 6 months. But as soon as she got back, she says, hey, you know what? I've been away for 6 months. I have to make up the time that I haven't been here. And that's what I want to talk about today. I want Evelyn to go ahead and just tell us what you have done, what you have embraced, what you're doing right now to get yourself to where you need to be.
Oh, wow. Thank you, guys. I mean, thank you, Andy, for this opportunity. And thank you, Ms. Belda, for having me in this broadcast. It's so exciting. I mean, it's been an amazing and a blessed month. I want to talk about the numbers. I mean, that's the most exciting thing, which this month I have 36 new business partners, and I finished with 13,744 in premium. That means cash. I mean, it has been a great month. I mean, I want to talk about the numbers, especially because in this business, it's about numbers. So last month, of course, wasn't like this month. It took me 35. It took me to talk to 35 people to find the one that is going to, you know, come with the explosion. And the great thing is that now we're having 40 to 30 appointments, hot market. So, you know, we talk about people that we talk to people that we know. We don't talk to strangers, and you know, it's the momentum that we have. And not only me is getting the cash. Can you imagine that all of us, like, I'm gonna call some of the names and the bonus that they have. I mean, I have Janelle with $1,000 bonus. You know how many days she did it? She did it in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, right now she has $1,000 in bonus. I have Melesha, which is he has $900 in bonus. I have Angela, which she has $600 in bonus. I have Michelle with $400 in bonus. I have Valentina with $700 in bonus. So it's so awesome about the business that it's not only me making the money, it's helping my team to get paid as well. I mean, they're excited to go take the test, and they're becoming district because our main focus is district. I mean, with one district that I have, it created the momentum. Now I'm getting 2 more districts. It's going to bring me more cash, and it's going to bring more cash to the team. I mean, right now we are killing it. I mean, we are just starting, bold team, we're just starting, and we're going to make history. I'm excited because next month we already have the momentum that we're going to, we created the momentum that we're still going to have next month. In this business, if you have consistency, if you have that momentum every single month, you're going to make it happen. So, I mean, thank you for that coaching, Miss Belda. Thank you for the coaching, Andy. I'm blessed to be part of the team. Thank you.
Wow. Wow, that's so exciting. And Evelyn, she's already done her numbers. She's pre-qualifying again to go RVP, get her contract, get to the next level, because that's what she came for. Not to be a regional leader, but to be a broker. And I'm super excited. In the next month or so, she's going to be promoted to regional vice president because she deserves it. But the other 2 that I have on, so it's not Darla, it's not RVP plus 2, it's actually RVP plus 3. Sorry about that. I kind of threw everything off, right? But the next 2, I'm super excited because they made a decision that, hey, they needed to go and pass the test in order for them to get their contract. And both of these individuals passed their exam this month. Not only the SIE, but the 6 and the 63. They're on their way to RVP, and I'm super excited for them to tell us how they did it with their mindset, what they did to be able to accomplish that all in a month and a half's time. So go ahead, Angelo and DeWitt.
Unmute yourself. Hey.
Hey guys, you're muted.
No.
Okay, so I don't know what they did, but
Can they walk over with you?
hey, come on over here, guys.
Run! My
Hey, they're
favorite
running.
thing,
Look at
run.
that. That was at least 6 feet.
Yeah, technical difficulties.
We made it.
Moving on anyways.
Well, thank you so much for having us on. Well, basically, our mindset was, you get what you accept. So if you're expecting to fail, that's exactly what's going to happen. But a lot of times we expect to fail so we can feel better if we fail. But the problem is, whether you pass or fail, what you expect, you're still going to be butthurt. So it's good to expect the best. And that's exactly what our mindset was. And it's really, even if you don't pass, don't tell your team that you didn't pass, because you're discouraging somebody else from taking the test. And it's really just tell them the good parts about the test, right? And that's what some of our mindset was. And Angela will continue on.
And so pretty much, we had to go past 3 tests in the last 3 months. So, the way that we did it was SIE, it's a brand new language. So you have to go learn the language. You can't just go take a test if you don't know the language. So you go do that. Then you go take the Series 6. And you just got to really pay attention on whatever section is going to take up the most points, because obviously that's what you want to do. You want to eliminate the hard part first. And then finally for 63, I'd say just go out there and go exhaust the quiz bank and, take 10 question quizzes on each specific section and continue to do that. I was told that with my friends, Kevin and Angelica. And, I just went through and followed it, went ahead and gave them a shout out, by the way. And just thank you guys so much. And we'll see all of you guys in MIT.
Wow, super excited. I mean, I am beyond excited because promotion for the bowl team would be SVP and then NSD and SNSD by convention. Super excited. Thank you guys so much for allowing us to be on. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Belda. We really appreciate you guys are doing phenomenal things there.
I don't have my
weeks-
applause button.
We'll do it like, all
Evelyn,
right.
DeWitt, and Angelo, Belda, great
Congratulations.
job.
I was lucky and Angelo rode home with me from Unicoi, and I just want to shout out to Angelo. Well done. You did a great job. This guy's worked hard to get focused and
Yep.
right. There's no cramming the SIE.
No, you
It's
just got to do it.
Can't be done. So
No
all right.
shortcuts when
No
studying for
shortcuts
those
with
bad
that
boys,
one.
yeah.
Might be able to do the others, but not that one. All right, you guys did good. We're excited for you. I think we're back to Andy, and Andy's going to introduce our guest SNSD for tonight. Are you there?
Still muted, Andy.
Working.
There, am I unmuted?
There you
Yes,
go.
you are.
All right, because if I had to run across the room, I probably wouldn't catch my breath for about 3 weeks. But anyway, those boys did a nice job. I'm just proud of you got to make a decision about, okay, you got an SIE, you got a 6, you got a 63. I mean, Team Bold is running through all those hoops, including Belda, and you get that crap done. You do the numbers, get the recruiting in place. It's all there. So we have Brad on. Is Brad? We got a visual on Brad.
He's there.
I am here.
There he is, sharp looking. I'm telling you, I
Got a
knew
haircut
Brad
today.
he got a haircut. That is nice, man. Yeah, because Brad, I mean, he wasn't really the sharpest guy in the. He's kind of like my fellow sweatpants guy, you know, with the sweatshirt and crap, you know, 25, 30 years ago. But Brad's a guy, you know, $1 million earner, one of the newer ones in 2020, one of the great stories of, you know, just an amazing business. Been here for a while. And back in 1990, Art Williams walked out the door at the hotel over there, the Marriott Hotel over in Cobb, whatever it is, mall over there in Georgia. I mean, literally couldn't finish the statement, walks out, and boom. And I had an opportunity to be in-house SNSD, so they were having me fly around and see people and do things. And while the company kind of was in flames, we went from 40,000 people in New Orleans to 6,500 in Fort Worth 2 years later. It was just amazing. But my team actually got 4 times bigger. And I went out to do a meeting in Portland, Oregon, and Cheryl Meyer, Jim Meyer, and Cheryl Meyer, not Jimmy Meyer, but Cheryl and Jim Meyer, they're out there in Portland, and had me come out. And there was people from Washington State, Oregon, and also from British Columbia, Vancouver. Brad was from Canada. And I remember we were sitting around and having a few drinks and salmon and a lot of fun stuff they have out there. And Cheryl Meyer, one of the things that happened there is I said, if the double-digit thing that I came up with back in the mid-'80s, if that thing really paid off the millions of dollars, you know, I was going to get tattooed on me. And that's kind of the end of that story I'll tell. But Addison and I were out there for that meeting, and she said she was paying for it. So I went and got tattooed. It was, because double digits, man, paid millions of dollars. It actually worked out. But sitting around, some meetings after the meetings, what a lot of you guys, need to do is, and especially it's been COVID, so we missed a little bit of that. When we get back at it, man, you need to meet people and hang out, man. We hung out so much. And I know Brad was a guy, as we were talking, he had been in Bogota, Colombia, but down there roughly the same time I was. He was a missionary. And we were talking about going to Melgar, where the pools were, where it was hot, and having obleas and maybe some aguardiente and traveling around and just, getting stopped by the friendly police who were drunk half the time, the soldiers. A third of the country was occupied by communist guerrillas. That wasn't in the photo or vacation planning book. We didn't have the internet. We just landed at El Dorado Airport. It's like, what? I had scholarships. I'm in school. And I get down there, I thought, well, I really hit off because what was going to happen is I get to this scholarship down in Bogota, I live with a family, and there's going to be mariachis playing in the streets and women in low-cut dresses, sangria and cerveza flowing, and just just going to be a big party. The first thing I see is tanks and machine guns everywhere. Like, don't remember signing up for this. So we had a lot to talk about with that. Had some great experiences there, and really kind of probably had something to do with really appreciating what we have in this business and our opportunity today. When you see so many people without opportunity, but we talked a bunch, and it was just one of those crazy periods of time where you meet somebody, become friends, and over the years we kept up with each other. And Brad was a guy that one of the things. If I start off with just anything you want to tell about your background story, and then we'll go from there. I got some other stuff to run through with you, but tell us about Brad Gerard.
So, hey, thanks, Andy. And kind of like you, when I went to Colombia, I thought I love tacos and burritos, and I thought this is going to be awesome, Mexican food for every meal. And then I got there, and I ended up with chicken heads and spaghetti, and so it was kind of a culture shock. But if it wasn't for that experience, I don't think we would have connected. And being connected with you has made me millions of dollars. And so I got into the business in 1988. I was 24 years old. I was looking for a way out of construction. I was working as a framer. My dad was a plumber and a farmer, and I saw my dad work hard all his life, hardest working man I've ever met, and basically retired completely broke. It was never a time when I remember that my parents didn't struggle financially, and I hated poverty. I mean, I left high school. I had no idea what I was going to do. I didn't do well in school. I was there for football and some of the other extracurricular activities. And hell, I failed shop. I failed math. I skipped too many classes, but I ended up graduating. And, people would always want to know, well, what are you going to do now that you've graduated? And everybody assumed I was going to do the trades because my dad was a plumber and a contractor and I was working in construction. And I said, I have no idea what I'm going to do, but I'm going to be rich. And everybody would laugh. And so I went to Bogota for a couple of years, thinking that I would save the world. While I was there, I had an epiphany. I remember one day that I was walking up the hill. We were building homes there and working with the poor people, and in the Invasiones there, which all the poor people took the nice hills with the good views, and the rich people lived down below in Bogota. And so I was walking up this hill one day, and used to have to walk over the pig slop and stuff. And I was going up there, and I had my runner had a hole in the bottom. I used to wear a bread bag over my shoe or over my sock. Then I put my runner on so that I wouldn't have pig slop as I was walking up the hill in my socks. And it dawned on me as I was walking up there, I was actually poorer than the people I was there trying to help. And I realized that something was wrong. But we were there at a time when Pablo Escobar was in his full heat. We were there when a lot of bad things happened. They threatened us. We had bomb threats at our house. And I kept trying to tell people I'm Canadian, not American. They didn't care. We were gringos, and so we were targets. And every time we'd leave the house, you didn't know if you were going to be kidnapped, which was one of the major industries there. And I was fine doing that at 20 years old, but then I got pregnant. We got pregnant with our first kid, and I thought, I can't bring up my daughter in this. And so we decided to come home, and I decided I was going to do something different. I was not going to come home and be broke. I hate poverty. There's nothing good about being poor. There's no redeeming virtue in it. And so I moved to Vancouver at the time. I was framing houses with another guy, but I knew it was going to be temporary until I found my thing. And at 22 years old, I watched an infomercial on TV one night by Tony Robbins, and that changed my life. And he had his 30-day cassette set, 30-day personal power cassette set you could order. I ordered it. I listened to it for about 25 days, and then I sent it back because you could get a refund if you sent it back within 30. And that was the first time I heard anybody talk about goals or your thinking control, the law of attraction. And that was it. And that set me off. I decided that's it. I'm out of construction. I'm going to go. I built a life list of the things I wanted to do with my life. And then I went out to try and figure out how to finance that life list. And after 15 different failed business ventures, I tried a bunch of MLMs. I opened a pressure washing business, a window washing business, a nanny agency, an advertising business. After all of these attempts, I finally got lucky. In one of my failed business ventures, I met a guy who got me to a meeting where I met a woman that morning in A.L. Williams in Primerica at a meeting on a Saturday morning. And at the end of that meeting, she said she made $30,000 a month and that she would mentor me. And I said, I'm in. I don't know anything about it. I failed math in school, never really been in sales, but I need $30,000 a month to finance my life list. My number one item is I got to take care of my parents, because they're screwed if I don't make enough money to give me a good life and them. Their retirement wasn't going to be good. And so that was my priority. But I had a whole bunch of other things. I'm a traveler. If you follow me on Instagram or Facebook, I love traveling. I love doing photography. And that's my passion. I just needed a way to finance it. And honestly, Primerica is a vehicle to finance my passion. And I think that's what it does for people. So that's kind of how I got into the business.
Yeah, one of the great things about, A.L. Williams Primerica, I mean, we're a company, doesn't matter what the challenges have been, we figured them out. I know Canada's messing around with securities right now. In the early days, you couldn't hire anybody part-time. Now, you were part of that, right?
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about, imagine that. All these people listening in the U.S., we got some Canadian folks listening tonight, but I mean, imagine you can't hire anybody unless they're full-time. Go through that a little bit.
Well, when A.L. Williams came to Canada in 1986, the industry was terrified. And so what they did is they lobbied the government, and they got the laws changed so that you could only enter the industry full time. So in order to get a license, you had to send proof to the government before they would issue you a license that you would actually quit your job, and you had to sign a statement saying that you could not have another job. You understood that, and if they caught you, they'd take your license away. So you had to come full time right from day one. And it was a scary thing, living on commission right from day one. But I'll tell you what, there's something about waking up in the, out of bed in the morning and having to go out and find food for the day. And, in 2003, 2004, that law changed and part-time came in. And I don't know if we're better. I remember being in meetings. Art used to always say, what makes us better than all those other companies is part-time. And we'd be in Canada going, we can't be, we're full-time, and I don't know, they say the best part of Primerica is no quotas. And I'm like, I don't know if that's the best part. I think the best part of Primerica is ownership at 300,000. I don't know if no quotas is really great for everybody. But you got to be full time. You got to burn your bridge at some point in time. I've never seen a part-time person build an empire here.
Absolutely. We were talking yesterday, I talked about going through 5,000 appointments, 4,000 of them held, or about a 7-year period, because I was mainly part-time, working 3 days a week. I already built a pretty big business, but I wanted to go back to district, division, regional, RVP, then qualify for SVP, NSD, SNSD. And we did that, which is just amazing 2 years ago. Put it all together and 4,000 appointments. Talk a little bit about going through the numbers, embracing the repetition, and how, like you said, people would look at that and say, what a dud, man, 4,000 appointments.
I was thinking that myself. I'm like, this guy's crazy, man, doing that. And here I am, and honestly, Art Williams used to say, when you're making $10,000 to $15,000 a month in override income, you can get out of the field. And I'll tell you what, I struggled for the first 3 years here. I was dying. And my life changed the day I went down to that school in Portland, and you introduced me to double-digit recruiting. And you said there's nobody in the company, in the history of the company, and I don't even know if it was true or not, but you said there's no one in the history of the company that is double-digit for 18 consecutive months and not got a ring. And I thought, well, then that's what I'm doing, because I proved to myself I wasn't going to make 100,000 selling. And so when you said that, I said, that's it, I'm double digiting. And I came back home, and man, we hit like 0 for 3 months in a row. And then you came back out there. You were out there 2 times that year, and you came back out in October and did a school. And once again, you said double digit. I remember you using that at 4 downs for a first down. And I'm like, that's okay. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And 4 months later, I did it for the first time in my career. I've been in the business 3 years at that time, and we double digited for the first month and never stopped double digiting for 23 years in my base shop after that. And that took me to everything I've got right now. And so we ran the numbers. I ran the numbers that, when you came out and showed us that, I got on the phones, and man, I cranked calls, and that's what I was dialing for dollars every day. And then I stopped doing that. My 5th year, I was making over $15,000, $20,000 a month in passive income. That's 2 years after I started double digiting. I was at 15 to 20 grand in override income, and I got out of the field and haven't been in the field since. I haven't sat with a client. I haven't trained a person in the field. Doesn't mean I haven't done the business. I just started working more on the business than in it. And I did that for 25 years. I've been traveling around the world for 25 years. And then this year came along, COVID happened. And I said, look, I've got 2 choices. I can't travel. I'm either going to buckle down and build a whole new wave of RVPs. I'm going to binge build, or I'm going to binge watch. And I decided to binge build. Since March, I've done 800 Zoom calls, and we've recruited directs because I put some people underneath people. I don't keep them all direct all the time. And so I've recruited about 40 directs out of that. We've got, I think, and we haven't been able to get licenses. I got my first licenses out of that last month, and we got 6 licenses sent in right now. We're waiting to get issued. But I think I can build, I think for sure I've got at least 2 people in there that look like solid RVPs, but I got one for sure. They should write 10 by 10 this month, and 2 months licensed. And I look at it and go, and nobody wants to do this. I did 800 Zooms. Now that's not all interviews. I did a lot of meetings with the team, trying to keep them motivated as well. But I did so many Zooms, so many interviews, and I found one guy, him and his brother, that are writing 10 by 10. And most people look at that and they would say too much work for too little. And I'm like, what is a 10 by 10 leg worth in a base shop? What's a 10 by 10 leg become when they go to RVP? It's worth a fortune. And and so it's such an easy trade-off. 8 months of recruiting or 7 months of just solid recruiting and prospecting for a new RVP, it's unbelievable.
So talk about the pipeline, because how long does it take people to get licensed where you are?
Oh man, right now, I mean, they shut down licensing. We are looking today, even once you completed, we have to complete a course called LLQP. The company runs it. You have to go through the course and be certified to be able to write the provincial exam. We were looking today in British Columbia, the earliest you can get on, if you complete the course right now, the earliest you can get on to write the exam is the end of January. And then it's about a month and a half to get licensed after that. This is how slow it's just unbelievable how bad they are. And so you're looking right now about 4 months to get a person licensed by the time you get the IBA, maybe 5. They're taking a whole month off at Christmas. Next week, they're off till the middle of January. And we're just like, come on, we're trying to do business in a pandemic. You'd think they'd be more conscientious of coming to work, but it's the government up here.
Yeah. So while you're working with these guys, it's critical to dig deep and build them a team.
Yeah. You have to build them a team. The only thing that anchors people in is the team. And listen, this is just my personal opinion. You can go out and do 10 life apps in a market. If you get a good guy with a good market, you can go get 10 life apps, but those 10 life apps don't anchor him in the business. What anchors him in the business is the fear of loss. It's driving deep, it's taprooting. And I look at it and go, if I recruit somebody today, why can't I be 4 to 6 levels deep in their business within a month? That's easy. Just grabbing the easy recruit. Everyone's got an easy recruit. If you don't allow them to blow their market away, go grab the easy IBA, and that just anchors them in, because the fear of loss grips people when they start seeing people come onto their team and now they start getting licensed. Now all of a sudden they're afraid that they're going to lose something. That's way more powerful than the possibility of making $1 million here.
Even the field training bonus, that's great. I'm glad you figured that out. At the end of the day, that 300, 600, I don't care if it's 1,500, that money's already spent before they get the check and gone up in smoke. The reality is people underneath, the fear of that loss and getting past, man, that's powerful. So we're going to take about a 4 or 5 minute break with Darla and Rob, and come back, and we're talking about going through the paces, what you got to do, embrace that repetition. And then Brad might be my all-time new hero. People say nobody's had more fun in Primerica than I have, and I'll take my resume up against some people. But this dude might be out traveling everybody, including Patty Schechter. So you definitely want to be around for the next segment. All right. We'll be right back. All right, Rob. Darla.
All right. That was totally interesting.
That's, yeah.
I've never met Brad till I talked to him today on the phone, wherever he just went. So I'm enjoying your story. Thank you. I'm glad that you're here. All right. Next up, we are going to do promotions. We'll do them in the very last segment. You guys got a whole bunch of them. I'm excited to read them all for you. Next up is Trish. We're already to top team.
Already
oh
the
my
top
gosh.
teams.
All right, don't give them the graphic yet. Trish is trying to clear the board. So you can't start sending your tax until she gets up here and announces, right? So hold on tight. Here she comes with all of her paperwork.
Yep.
Computers, mic.
Well, you got to announce the RVPs that
You
reported
do.
in since the last time.
Oh, good
so,
for you.
Amanda Lorifice, Doris Rodriguez, Dottie Broach, Ray and Shannon Rodriguez, Joanne and Richard Shaw, Peggy and Jaron King, Suman Kahan, Jolene Janke, Melba and Jerry Rourke, Mary Hayes, Shay Gosha, Reljack team, Walter Charles, Tim and Terry Sheridan, Eubanks team, Cynthia Thompson, Kevin Goodman, Evelyn Tejada, Hillary Nichols, the Gupta team, Cassandra Scott, and Ron Schmidt Sr.
Ooh,
Wow.
You added a lot after.
We've
Yes,
almost
we
got
did.
3 pages of RVPs.
Oh,
we just need to
Well,
get a few more
there
base
are
shops.
60.
Eight.
Oh, no, there's more than that now. There's 71 RVPs reporting in tonight.
Wow.
Y'all are ready to
That's
end this
good.
year on a high note and go for it. I'm ready. Let's come on and bring it on. So we're going to do.
You want us to? I bet they could bury you.
You think?
I don't know. They've got the opportunity.
She's
for us.
got a notebook and a phone
I
and a laptop.
She's good. Come on, y'all.
So what is? I forgot what Mary called me.
What you
I
got?
can't remember what she called me. She called me something this
She'll
past
be
weekend.
texting shortly.
Yes, she will. So she gave me a name, and I'm
Aw.
drawing
I
a
called
blank.
you Count
so.
Chocula last time.
Yeah, I like that one because that chocolate is my thing. You already know that. Don't mess with my
right,
brownie.
It's already
All right, sorry. So we're gonna go with our 2 top teams.
2 again.
It's down to the 2 again. So we got Walter Charles reporting in with 90. And Belda Rubio is reporting in with 100.
I think they're both sandbagging.
I do too.
Sounds like
I
they're
do
both
too.
sandbagging.
Now, I will say that we've already had people from both of these teams already report in. I can't count those. You've got to re-report in starting now. So we've got Walter Charles Base Shop and the Belda Rubio Base Shop. These 2 are VPs only. I don't need anybody else to report in. Y'all listening? And I just let me throw a little Southern out there. But again, if you've already reported in, please report back in because
You've been deleted.
I just had to skim over those.
Bottom
And
line, you've been
It was
deleted.
rapid fire today.
Yeah.
So it's
Good.
been good. So
All
all
right.
right, I'll see you guys in a little bit.
Top 2 base
I'll
shops.
have to get some help with
and
the
only
comments.
the top
Right.
2 base shops.
Yes.
Walter Charles Base Shop, Belda Rubio Base Shop. We need you to sound off. If you're watching and you're part of those base shop, you dial up 404-465-1830 in your phone. Go ahead and save it in your phone for next week. And go ahead and tell us who your RVP is, because if you don't know, we can't count you for the right team. And then give us your solution number. If you don't have a solution
Your
number,
solution number.
yeah, your solution number.
Your solution, not your RVP solution.
Not your RVP
Yours.
solution, your solution
That's
number.
how
If you
we
don't
know
know
it's
it,
you.
look it up. Ask somebody to help you, maybe your upline. If you don't have one yet, put in guest or
Yeah.
some X's or
XX.
whatever. Main thing is, though, we're only going to be counting 1 vote per phone number that sends us a text message. So I can't grab my phone, report in, for me and Darla and both our solution numbers
I have
on the
to do
same
my
text.
own.
No, she's got to get her phone and do it herself.
Independent.
So, yeah, independent people.
Independent people. Right?
Independent
Okay.
people with their own
You
cell phone
guys-
with their own text message plan.
Yeah. Hopefully, right? All right, you got 20 minutes-ish.
Yep.
So go for it. All right, we get to hear more from Brad.
That's
more to
awesome.
the story. I'm excited. Back to Andy.
Traveling more than Patty. Come on now.
Oh yeah, he's got her. I bet my money on him. Anyway, we'll get to that in a minute. But I want to talk about the repetition. Early on, my mom was a big stickler with music, and she had a shot to go to Juilliard School of Music, famous. But World War II broke out. Never got a dream. Was always in the church singing. Billy Graham came in. She was part of the big choir for the whole area, and we started piano lessons. Ended up playing 3 different instruments, but it was the practice. I mean, if we did a Christmas concert with 10, 12 songs in it, you practice probably 300, 400, 500 hours practicing those, where the conductor would go, stop, stop, stop. Can't do that. Can't do that. Can't. And it was only at the actual concert, not even the dress rehearsal concert. He stopped then too. At the concert was the only time we actually did the performance. Playing football, same thing. You practice, you learn the plays over and over and over and over. And then I've said to the group many times, the Super Bowl this year, I know it went like 4.5 hours or whatever the crap it was. And J-Lo was out there with that young girl. I can't remember her name. I know who J-Lo is. I'm old. But and me and John Addis were sitting there at the Super. It was 12 minutes of actual snap to whistle. 12 minutes of actual playing, but thousands of hours of preparation. Another thing I did pretty well in my life, just like you, and we've never talked about this, but I took 10 years of Spanish between elementary, junior high, high school, and in college. And then I got off the plane at El Dorado, and they were speaking a different kind of Spanish. I remember from the book and the language labs. Like, holy crap. But I tell people it's like every damn thing else. I mean, you figure it out. You start off with, hey, cerveza's beer. And then pretty soon you're going to need a baño, which is a bathroom. And then from there, you need to eat some food. Probably should have eaten the food first. But then you got to figure out, qué tipo de comida is going to be pollo or carne asada. Then you figure all that, expand your menu, and go from there like everything else. And in Primerica, you and I, obviously embrace the repetition here and use the same mindset, concept, whatever, and not getting all gummed up and emotional about the people on the front end, but passionate about going through the numbers, put a uniform on everybody and give them a shot. So talk a little bit about the repetition.
Don't forget chicharron.
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 I still eat it today. What are you talking about?
So, the business is a business of repetition. And, the one thing I think there's two things that I've got going for me in the business. The only two things. One is I have work ethic. My dad taught me the value of work ethic. I don't know if he taught me or he beat it into us or something like that. I wasn't afraid of working hard. And the other thing that I've got going for me is I believe that what one person can do, another person can do. And so I've always believed that, if someone's having more success than me, it's not because they're better than me as a human being. It's just because their skills are better than mine, or they're doing something I'm not doing. And so what I was not afraid of doing was calling anybody on the phone or walking up to anybody at a convention or a meeting and saying, what do you do? Like, what am I missing? I knew there was something I'm missing. And I think everybody in Primerica should be on a quest for excellence. What does that look like? What are you missing? If you're not making $100,000, $500,000, $1 million a year, it's just that you're either not thinking right or you're not doing something right. So go figure out what that is. I think what most people do is they think if they're not having success, they start to think, well, maybe I'm not cut out for this, or maybe God doesn't want me here, or maybe I'm not good enough. Those are just dumb thoughts. Those thoughts get you nowhere. Asking a question like, is this really what I'm supposed to do with my life? That's the stupidest question ever. There's no answer to that question. The question you got to be asking is, what are the people that are successful doing that I'm not doing? And what you're going to find out is their work ethic is different. They repeat the same process over and over again. I walked up to a leader, Rich Thawley, one day at a fast art school. I was dying in the business, and he was speaking at an event in Seattle. I walked up to him behind the stage, and I said, Rich, I'm dying here. I can't figure it out. What am I doing wrong? And Rich said, you want to know the secret of success in Primerica? In A.L. Williams at the time, he said, your ability to tolerate the monotony. And that was it. And that stuck with me forever. And that's what I see. Most people won't call long enough. They won't call enough, and they won't call long enough over and over. I look at it like, it's like hitting a piñata. If you get a stick and there's a piñata sitting there and it's full of prizes, how long are you going to hit that piñata? You're going to hit it until the candy comes out. And that's Primerica. My job is to hit the piñata. Now, I don't know if it's the 1,000th hit, it's the 20th hit. I have no idea, but I know there's candy in there. I'm going to keep hitting it until the candy comes out. There's no way to succeed without running numbers. There's no way around that. It doesn't matter how good you think you are. In the beginning, we all think, well, I'm not going to have to work that hard, do that many numbers, fail that many times. And you get in the business, and the business humbles you, and it shows you, wait a minute, you're no better than anyone else. Art Williams recruited so many people to get what he's got. I'm going to have to do the same type of thing. And it's just repetition.
Yeah. Talk about how much, that's absolutely dead on. That's a powerful message. Talk about how much better the company is today than back in we were going our way through the jungle with a butter knife.
Oh my goodness, man. People go today, people say when I'm doing an interview, and they'll go, I checked you guys out online and I'm like, hey, it's about a 50-50 now. Back then it was like 100% bad. You know, there was just nothing good. There was an article written by a really small little newspaper called the Winnipeg Free Press. And it talked about A.L. Williams coming to Canada with their crusade, helping families. And I'm telling you, that was the only article we had in Canada written about anything good about us, probably for 10 years. And I use that article in every presentation, every meeting, because there was just nothing good. It was a battle. Every policy we wrote was an enemy agent confrontation. Every single day you had to get up, put your armor on, and go to war. That was the way it was if you were going to build the business. Today, you can't even buy a confrontation. Sometimes I'll say, hey, just trick the agent, tell them to show up and we'll show up. They will not show up. You can't buy a confrontation anymore. I mean, now, and I love what the company's doing. This regime, Peter, they've decided they're going to invest in our online reputation. They're going to fix a lot of the garbage that's out there. People don't understand clickbait on YouTube and stuff like that, why people trash us online. And they say, oh, we're a scam. If you type in Primerica scam, well, that's just, somebody doesn't understand our business. They're just trying to get a click so they can get an advertising dollar, and people don't understand that. But today, I mean, it's so incredibly better. Back when I started, we had no variable annuities. It cost me $800 to get a mutual fund license. I didn't have a license for 18 months because I couldn't afford it. It was term insurance. And then we got the Mod 15, which was so expensive the first year. And we went out and had to make a living full time selling that one product. But we believed in the crusade. We had no one said anything good about us, but we believed in what we did, and we went out and fought through, and we won. And today, frankly, how many football players or ball players come up and say, the best times of our lives when we were out in the mud pit, playing the game, and then you become a pro and you got everyone's doing stuff for you, and and yeah, it was easy, but maybe it wasn't as fun, and maybe you would never get to that place unless you went through the toughness. And so I'm grateful for our past. I'm grateful that I came in those days and had to fight and I think that a lot of people today, I think they're just I don't want to say weak, but I think that they're weak. I think that they get a sliver and they take a day off and they don't do their calls, and someone says no and they got to go to a therapist for a couple of weeks. And listen, I think everybody needs a therapist, everybody. But, get a therapist after you're rich. Don't try and get a therapist before, because they won't do anything for you.
Absolutely. That's crazy. And I remember, at so many events, I got to know your mom and dad, I didn't care what it was, the big convention, your brother, sister, kind of like me, everybody in the business. And what a fun thing that's been. I mean, you got ups and downs, all kinds of challenges, issues, whatever, but to be all in the same business, and you don't have to explain crap and all that kind of stuff. You see each other more, sometimes maybe more than you want to, but I mean, you're around each other, and just, the money that you earn. I know one challenge I had with one of my daughters. She was like hanging around with the weird people and doing kind of the weird stuff. I'm suspecting, but it's like, hey, I was born at night, but not last night. What the hell's going on? So I'm like, you going to homecoming? No, homecoming's lame. Football's lame. And I'm like, where did this child come from? What do you mean football? Homecoming is the greatest celebration of the year in high school. What the crap, and the pep rally. She's hanging around with the wrong people. But the only thing she loved reading. So I always fed that hunger for the books. Excuse me. And I found out that John Grisham, the famous author of movies, he had a young writers creative writing camp at the University of Virginia. It was like $20,000 over a couple of years. But she went to that, and now she's an English teacher, master's in literature and drama department. Talk about maybe some of the situations where you've been able to be, step in and do some things that really change somebody's life and your family or your friends.
What you just said there is everything. And the ripple effect of your success is so wide when you become successful, the impact you have on other people's lives. But the ripple effect that you have on other people's lives by not becoming successful is equally as big. It's just you'll never see it. Nobody will ever know that your lack of going out and doing what needs to be done to succeed for you and your family has a negative impact on everybody around you. But you only will know that if you're successful, because you can actually see it, you know. And just the things, my brother's in Toronto, you know, he's got a Down syndrome daughter. She's 21 years old now. And her life has been completely revolutionized because he's in a business that pays him $300,000 a year. My sister's here in Vancouver. She makes over 200, probably 250,000 this year. My son-in-law is in the business. I've got my nephew in the business. I got cousins in the business getting licensed right now. My mom was licensed with us for a while. And, you know, this whole thing has changed our entire family for generations to come. And it's not the money, it's the mindset. I remember I took my parents, you know, and my mom had never been anywhere outside of, you know, British Columbia and Alberta, 2 provinces up here. She'd never been anywhere. And I remember the first trip I took her to England, we went over to where her grandfather had come from and visited London and traveled all over there. And I used to always say to her, Mom, wouldn't you love to go and see where Grandpa came from? No, I'm good. I don't need to travel. And I took her over there. And I remember on the way back on the plane, you know, she looked at me and said, I think I want to go to Paris and Rome next. And you see, and here's a 60 some odd year old woman who had never been anywhere and could never even dream of ever seeing, you know, when I took my dad and we saw the Eiffel Tower, the Colosseum in Rome for the first time, I remember he cried when we came around the corner and there was the Eiffel Tower. And I saw my dad tear up because he said to me, I never in my lifetime ever thought I would ever see this. Now that trip probably cost me, I don't know, $5,000, $10,000. I have no idea, you know, but you know what it really cost me? It cost me getting up the next morning after someone charged back on me. It cost me getting up and going to get another recruit when someone quit. It cost me going out and trying to find another appointment when somebody dark housed me and not saying, oh, thank goodness I got dark house tonight. Now I can go home. Not coming home before 10 or 11 o'clock at night. That's what that trip cost me. But what's it worth? It's changed their life. And I'll tell you one story. I rented out the top floor of a hotel in all the suites in the top floor of this hotel in Cancun one year. And I took all the family down for Christmas. And my parents were in there. We were in the lounge. You know, we were hanging out in the lounge and we had taken all the chairs. I mean, I had the whole family down there. So we got all the chairs in the lounge. We're just hanging out there. You got the view of the Gulf of Mexico on one side and the Pacific on the other side. And so we're hanging out there in the lounge, and this guy walks in. He's really sharply dressed, and he walks into the room, and he goes and gets a little bit of food, and then looks around, can't find a chair. And my mom said, "Oh, we gotta, you know, he's looking for a chair. We have to give him our chair." And I said, "We're not giving him our chair. Like, I paid for this chair. I paid for this chair." With every dark house that I had, every recruit that quit, every sale that charged back on, this chair was paid for with sweat, anxiety, frustration, tears. That chair is paid for. Sit down. That's our chair. That guy doesn't deserve the chair any more than we do. And I think that is a lesson you learn in success. When you pay the price to win, you will feel worthy of that win, and you'll impact the lives of other people around you. And I've done so many things. I took my dad 6 years ago. He had 5 uncles fight in World War II in Italy and France. And they all saw combat. All of them survived. The 2 brothers actually met for the first time in 5 years. One was walking into a brothel in Paris and the other one was walking out. And they said, hey, haven't seen each other in 5 years. And that was my dad's family. And so I took him, we went to Sorrento, we went to all around Naples, and then we went up to Belgium and to Dieppe, which is a famous World War II site for Canadians. We went to Juno Beach and to Gold Beach. We went all around Normandy. We did a whole World War I and World War II. And it was the last trip we did. My dad had a heart attack and a stroke shortly after that, and he hasn't been able to travel. He's had a couple strokes, and his days of travel are over. but I have so many memories. And I always thought, if my dad dies with that last stroke, we weren't sure if he was going to make it. I'm like, you know what? He knew, he was proud of me. He knew that I made it. We did so many amazing things together. No regrets. That's what being successful is really all about.
Tell you what, man, it was a great day in my life when I met you. And like I told you yesterday, looking forward to sitting down for a few hours and catching up. But just a great, great friend and great teammate in the greatest business in the world. So any last comments you got, Brad? We appreciate you coming on.
Look, I just want to say, and I've told you this before, but I don't think you know how much you impacted my life and where I'm at in my life and what's happened in my business. I don't think you have any idea. I remember you coming up to New Westminster that one time, and we rented out a hall, and you flew up on your own dime. I was so broke, and you paid your own way up, and you flew up and did a meeting for me. And I could never, and then you invited me to go and meet Sandy Weil in that house and I had Christian David did a training for me 2 weeks ago. And we were talking about, he got his $50,000 watch at that meeting, and you invited me over there, and we were able to be in that environment, even though we didn't deserve it. And, I just want to thank you for what you've done in my life, and I could never pay you back. So anytime you need anything from me, I'm there for you, man. Anything.
Appreciate you, man. I look forward to catching up with you. Thanks, Brad.
Thanks, buddy. See ya.
All right. See ya. Back to Darlin Robb.
Very exciting. Great guy. Great stories. Thank you, Andy, for bringing him on. So we will.
She looked at us. She looked at me right before he said his week, and she said, "We're weak.
We're weak.
Got it too easy.
We're weak." And then he goes,
making us soft.
Yep. Then Brad's like, everybody's weak. I hate to say it. Like, you're right. We are. So we have 2 promotions. So I wanted to remind you guys that it doesn't matter what base shop you're in. If you're in Andy's base or Andy's hierarchy or whatever, it doesn't matter. Send us all the promotions. Anybody who's watching loves to hear their name on TV or anytime, right?
Yep.
In recognition, as Art always said, or Andy says, the sign, I'm 8-year-old, what? You say the thing. I'm 8
Treat
years
everyone
old.
like there's 8-year-old.
There
They got a
you go.
flashing sign on their chest that says, "Make me feel special."
There you go. There's the line. Right? So send us your promotions so that we can recognize them. So the first person we're going to recognize is Ian Hathaway. The promoting RVP is Gigi McGinnis, and he is being promoted to district.
All
Congratulations. Right. And out of the Sylvia and Lou Robinson base shop, Nicole Toussaint?
I think so, yeah.
Toussaint. She's being promoted to district also. Good job, everybody. Good job to the RVPs and good job to the districts. You are on your way. Very exciting. So let's take just a little bit out of order here, Matt. Can we talk about the system for just a second? Sure. Let's talk about Andy's system. We've been talking about that kind of over the last half of this year. The whole system's available for you. For those who are kind of wondering what we've all been talking about, the DDR, the 10, the other things that you talked about.
Yeah.
But they're all on the website, getbiggergohome.com, on the promotions download page. Go to the bottom. They're all there. I just listened to the presentation today.
Yep.
It's right there waiting.
Got audio and video.
Yes, thank you. So make sure that you guys go and do that. You got questions, tickets@nightglass.com. If you've got questions for Andy about his system, tickets@nightglass.com. We'll make sure he gets them and can answer them.
Yep.
The ones we can't answer. You know, a couple of them. Right? So let's see. Back to Andy. He's going to do a short wrap for us, and then we're going to talk about who the winner is. Oh, hold on.
Is that me?
It's going to be you in a second.
Matt hadn't screwed it up.
No. It's been like a technical day for sure.
All I can tell you, like old school, you my boy, Matt. I'm going to tell you what, I got your back. Those people around there got no appreciation for you. Hell with them. Don't worry about it. Cut their mic, whatever you want to do. Anyway, I kind of did my close. We're going to stretch that out to our time. But the bottom line, I would say, and you've heard it over and over and over, I've talked about it, until I can't talk anymore. What Brad said at the end, just the power. You could feel it, coming through the screen. I mean, it really does make the difference. His dad can't travel anymore, but no regrets. I mean, what level are you going to choose to play at, and when are you going to get started? I mean, damn it, this is the end of a year. I mean, how the hell did December get here? I mean, but it's here, and this is our launch for 2021. And you can choose to do what you did in the last 6 months, 6 years. I don't know what it is, or like I did. It's tough. But I chose to win. And once I chose to win, everything was easy. And I don't mean easy. Nothing got easier. But just the whole idea that there was some other way, or maybe I could figure this or figure that, or some system or what. Once I knew I had to embrace the repetition. I had to have my part down. I had to go through the numbers. I had to find people to put a uniform on and give them, like Art Williams said, you owe them an opportunity and an example. Now, some of you might be thinking, well, you're not the best example. You got so many damn examples every week on this TV, on this Zoom. So many examples at Get Bigger, Go Home. So many examples at every live meeting we've done, including all the way to the top. We had Art Williams, Glenn Williams, and John Addison on the same broadcast. Nobody ever has done that, and I don't believe ever will do that. But that's what we did. Whether it was Sandy Wild, as he talked about, I don't care what the best of the best is. That's where we're going to be. We're going to be where there's no limit to what your vision can grow to. But if you don't choose to make the decision, choose, decide. If you don't do that, you don't choose and decide, nothing's really going to happen for you. And I'm somebody, as I can tell you, I'm excited about building another 15, 20 RVPs. I'm excited about going out there. People say, why do you keep working it? I don't really consider this work. I love the fact that you got a body of work over 40 years, the business that continues to grow. It's going to continue to grow. The great places of the world, the great things you do for people. I mean, it's not, I've worked in a brickyard. I worked in a loading dock. I've pulled concrete. I've set the foundations. I've done all that crap, all the crap jobs out there, swimming pools, tile coping, all that crap. I know what work is. And I don't really consider this any kind of work like that. And so at the end of the day, what's your choice? And I guarantee you, starting at the beginning of the year, I'm talking about the beginning of the year, we are going to bring it. And we're going to bring it the rest of December and show you how we're setting up for January to make it the greatest. On top of the great, we just had the greatest year. And everybody knows it. Well, this is the best year. Yeah, we said all that crap for years. Guarantee you, this is totally the best year. We are going to knock the crap out of this year, next year. I promise you that. What level are you going to play at? So appreciate you hanging in there, and we'll get back to find out what's going on. They must be counting some serious numbers. That's all I know, and they might have a recount. We might not find out till February who's winning tonight.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye.
All right, Tammy and Ron Lewis promoted Nolette Marcellus to district. Awesome. Congratulations. Woohoo, for all the promotions. And now we're down to the final count.
Dun, dun, dun.
If I could do a drum roll, I would.
All righty. Here we are again. Walter Charles reported in that he had 90 tuned in. We had 76 report.
Oh, what happened, Walter? I said you were sandbagging.
And then Belda reported in that she had 100. I had 172.
What?
Somebody was sandbagging.
Somebody was sandbagging. And I don't know if I said the right number, but we had 70 RVPs report in tonight.
That is excellent.
Yeah.
All right, Belda,
Excellent job.
congratulations again. So
that's number 9,
everybody.
right?
Number 9. Still, Walter's got one more week.
Yep.
Right? You can do it. 100% belief.
All right.
Believing in you.
What a great show, guys.
Great
Thank
show.
y'all for joining us.
Exactly.
Bearing with some of the issues we had, and we'll be back next week with another barn burner.
Yes,
so
as
don't
always.
go away.
Right? Have a good night. Bye-bye.